Okay, so this is just a bit of a bonus video. I wanted to talk quickly about the differences between WordPress.com and WordPress.org because they're actually two different things. So I introduced you to WordPress.com last week, and it is a website where you can jump on and sign up and have your own kind of website or /blog available quite quickly for you. That is the kind of the commercial arm of WordPress. The other part of WordPress, and this is kind of the how they started, I guess, or the first arm of them, was WordPress.org. And what this website is that it provides you with access to their free content management system, which is WordPress. But the difference is with this website, you can download the content management system known as WordPress and install it on your own hosting or your own server. And so what this means is basically WordPress is a free content management system, a free CMS, which you can download and you can install. It's open source, and it's just that on WordPress.com, they've taken WordPress, or the content management system they've created, and they've basically commercialized it. So with WordPress.com, super easy to sign up, get started, all within a browser, and get your website up and running, which is what I recommend for this subject, because the focus should be on basically creating a portfolio as easily as possible, putting all your information in it, and then starting to build your innovative project. But if you kind of know your way around a server, or you have hosted stuff before on a server, then you could look at installing your own version of WordPress on your own server. So this is the WordPress.org website. It's different to the WordPress.com website. So WordPress.com is where we go, and we've set up that website previously. WordPress.org is where we can get WordPress. So download WordPress and install it on our own server. Now, if you haven't done this before, I wouldn't recommend this. It's probably a bit difficult, and it's better to spend the time polishing your project. But if you have done server-related stuff, as I mentioned before, you can download us and give it a go. If you may already have your own hosting, and that's fine, and you may be paying for hosting, and if that's the case, that's great. But WordPress also does recommend some particular web hosts, which if you don't have hosting already, you can sign up for. Now, all of these cost money. The three they recommend are Bluehost, DreamHost, and SiteGround. I haven't used any of these, so I can't recommend one, but let's just have a look at one of them. So I'm just going to click Bluehost. They say they power over 2 million websites. They offer the ultimate WordPress platform, which is good. So if we jump onto Bluehost, there's a special offer, an initial term of 36 months. You can sign up for $4.31 a month. That includes a domain, so that could be www.yourname.com. It has WordPress installs and it updates it. They have support, but you do have to pay for 36 months, which can add up. So that's about $155 for a few years, which is not too bad. So look, you could do this. You could sign up to hosting, and then once you've done that, you'll need to register a domain to point to your particular hosting. Looks like Bluehost provides one for free, which is great. Then what you'll get access to most likely when you're using one of these is basically a cPanel. And I've got one here that we've already got set up for another game company that we have. So what I've done here is I've taken the liberty of just jumping into this particular cPanel, or this particular, we're using Plesk here. And this is what it looks like, or it may look similar to this, in the sense that once you sign up for your own hosting or your own server, you'll get access to the back end. And then from there, you can set up, connect your domains usually, and then set up your WordPress installation. A lot of them have automatic WordPress installation just because WordPress is so popular. And it makes it a lot easier setting it up this way than downloading WordPress from WordPress.org, transferring it via an FTP to your actual hosting and setting up manually. This is a much easier approach. So for this, it's quite easy. You'll have your website URL, and then you can just basically click the install button and choose to install WordPress. Now, I've already installed a copy of WordPress here, so I've just installed it under the blog folder, or the blog URL. So I've just created a folder in my server called blog, and that's where I've installed WordPress. You could install it on the root of your server as well, but because we've already got a website up and running there, I don't want to write over that one, so I've created a folder called blog and I've installed WordPress there. So I've set up WordPress. I can jump in and open it up, and what you'll see is that it looks a little bit different to the WordPress.com setup. So if we go to WordPress.com and just have a quick look, you can see we've got our site here, and we've got these options, these menu options down here, which gives us access to things like pages, design, tools, etc. If we jump into the WordPress.org installation, the one that we've downloaded and installed, it's a little bit different. So the layout is a little bit different. Again, it's all free, which is great. So we don't have all those upgrade messages. We won't have ads coming up, but of course you have to pay for your server. But otherwise it's very similar. So we've got pages. So here we've got pages. We've got a sample page set up and a privacy policy set up automatically with our website. We've got posts, which are just like blog posts, so very similar to the WordPress.com installation. But then we've got other things as well. So the nice thing about having this particular installation is that you get access to plugins, which you can access on WordPress.com. It's just that you have to pay to upgrade. So you have to upgrade to the business plan to install plugins. You probably don't need any plugins. There's none that are really going to provide any extra value to you, but they're just something which allow you to extend WordPress and make it a lot more functional. So there's, for example, there's plugins to provide e-commerce to your website. There's plugins to provide, well, there's actually one to provide achievements and gamification to your website, which is quite amusing. With these ones, you can install or add plugins on a WordPress.org website, and there's a bunch of things there which just basically help, I guess. So you can install a forum, for example. You can add community features, anti-spam. These things are just available for you. Other than that, it's fairly similar. So the biggest difference is that you have installed this yourself. You have your own server, which you're paying for, and WordPress doesn't come up with those ads and things like that. Now, again, as I said, I would only go down this route if you actually have your own server or you're quite familiar with the concept of hosting. It is an option. Again, you can spend a lot of time setting up WordPress. And I just recommend, it's probably easier to go with WordPress.com. And then when you're ready down the track, if you're enjoying this and you've got it set it up properly, just look at upgrading. For $6 a month, it's about the same price as your own server, and it definitely makes it a bit easier. But again, it's up to you. And again, I want to stress that for this subject, you just need a free account. You don't need to pay for anything. It's just that at the end of this semester, if you want to keep your portfolio site and you want to make it look a bit more professional, you may want to consider upgrading just to get rid of the WordPress ads that are currently on your website. Great, that's it. That's just a brief overview of the differences between WordPress.com and WordPress.org. If you have any questions about either, get in touch. I've used both of them quite extensively and happy to answer any questions you have.